Hi, and happy Saturday to all of you out there. It is such an incredible opportunity to come to you. We are going 9 days straight, and today we're on our 5th day of our Empower, Educate, Create Stream-a-Thon. I'm Sadia Davis, the Director for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship, and it is my joy and honor to share with you tonight the business of dance. We are absolutely just, shaking in our seats with the joy of bringing theater leaders to you in an engaging and fun conversation. But before we get to that, with the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship, we provide resources, insight, relationships that matter, and also some skills that'll help you develop your business to success. And one of our partners is Free Spirit Media, and we are running our second boot camp coming up on December 12th, and that's from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. When you have an opportunity, feel free to go in and sign up. It's free. This is going to be a great boot camp on how to build a profitable online brand in 2021. I mean, why not start now? We're almost at the end of the year. So we encourage you to sign on to the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship website, where you'll see that we promote 80% of our partners and 20% of our programming. I am so excited. I can't wait anymore. Let's bring on our guest for tonight. So Pranita Nair. Pranita Nair was and is amazing. She founded Mandala Arts in 2014, where she serves as Executive Artistic Director. Pranita is a producer, curator, master teacher, and choreographer whose work is rooted in South Asian dance forms and their changing context within the diaspora. Pranita has been an exponent of, Pranita's going to have to pronounce this one for me, Bakaram Yam in the Chicagoland region for over 30 years, and her path has flowed into deconstruction of the movement vocabulary, from gesture to reassemblage. She has received 3 MacArthur Awards and is an 11-time recipient of the Master Teacher Award given by Illinois Arts Council. Her work has been presented at Lincoln Center, the Smithsonian Institute, Harris Theater Chicago, Olympics Salt Lake City in 2002, and the MTV VMAs with Shakira. Her work has just taught residencies and workshops at Harvard University, Northwestern University, University of Chicago, and more. Pranita. Welcome, Pranita. How are you?
Good to see you, Sadia. How are you doing?
Well, I'm so happy to be with you. I'm doing well. I just love that demonstration of dance and movement and incorporating all of the body and the hair into that dance. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, so this is just the past production that Mandala presented in September, just a few months ago, during the pandemic, and we were able to incorporate the mask into the costuming. It was based on the translation of Persian script, which is handwritten into the movement of the body. So the dancers are trying to uh, emulate the script on a page into a performance on live stage in very short.
It's just beautiful. And, one of the things that we're all seeing is how individuals are adjusting to this pandemic. So the fact that masks were worn, individuals were safe, and yet you were still able to perform. Are you finding that more individuals are tuning into these virtual performances? Was that sort of staged and then it was shot out virtually, or did you have a small audience?
So as the guidelines allowed in September, we were able to have like 15 people in the place itself, and virtually we sold more tickets than we actually do for live performance, which was like amazing, like wow. And people from different parts of the country beyond the neighborhoods of Chicago tuned in. So it was quite an interesting mix.
So is that something?
And exhilarating, like, oh, people beyond Chicago are paying attention. So it's like.
Right. So now that you have had that experience with other individuals tuning in from outside, has it become a marketing strategy in terms of who you reach? Are you guys considering the global opportunity of sharing outside of the US?
Oh, absolutely, especially with social media and the reach being, beyond where the newspaper circulated or TV shows are seen. We are absolutely thinking of continue to be hybrid.
That's great. We're finding that in theater, we had the business of theater last night, and some individuals individual companies are using unique spaces like outside, right? And the world is a stage, if you consider that. And so the fact that you're now able to sort of find the silver lining in this time and utilize, sure, when the numbers were reduced, we were once at 50%, then we were, 50 people or less, or then 10, being able to adjust with these regulations, but also finding that this virtual space has really opened a door and amplified most storytellers.
Yeah, and I find it even more being on the edge as an artist, because firstly, the immediate response was, what is the story I'm telling? And who is listening to my story was immediately in Chicago. But now the audience is beyond Chicago, it's beyond USA. So how do I retell the story? How do I restructure the performance? And still stay true to what the mission, my personal vision is, and what the artistic mission of the organization is. To balance those two together, it becomes really important.
It's really, you mentioned the mission. And I wonder, with all that's happened, how has shifting a bit, has it shifted the mission at all? Have you been inspired because of what's going on? Just curious.
So for any organization or arts organization, the mission is the cornerstone. The mission is what drives the organization, what attracts the people to be like-minded. So our mission has not changed, only the delivery of the mission has changed.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, I would love to be able to have you stick around with us so that we can bring you into the collective conversation. And I think it's really brilliant. And thank you so much, Pranita, because we're all having to find ways to adjust and to find creative opportunities to still tell narratives and great stories, and in dance. So let's talk to Deeply Rooted, Nicole Clark-Springer. Nicole Clark-Springer began formal training under the guidance of Claudette Soltis, Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, and Juliet Ballet Society, and the Indianapolis Ballet Theater under Dance Indianapolis. I need glasses. She received her BA in the Arts Administration Dance from Butler University in Indianapolis, where she was honored as Butler's Ballet Outstanding Performer. In 2013, Clark-Springer joined Kevin Iega Jeff and Gary Abbott as the newest member of the Deeply Rooted artistic team and was named Deeply Rooted Dance Theater's emerging choreographer for the program Generations. In 2016, Clark-Springer choreographed the opening number for the nationally syndicated Steve Harvey show, The Halloween Celebration. She teaches and choreographs throughout the country and has been a faculty as well as an adjunct professor at Chicago State University and Western Kentucky University, and is currently on staff at Northwestern University. Let's take a meeting of this lovely darling. Who needs glasses? I do.
Hello, Sadia. How are you? You're fine.
I'm good. It's so good to see you and have you join us. And, thank you so much for being such an incredible leader here in Chicago with an extraordinary, deeply rooted dance theater company.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what's going on. I know we're getting ready to celebrate something coming up.
Actually, we did. We just came from celebrating in October 17th, our Deeply 25 Beyond Dance. The celebration begins. So we are currently in the year of the 25th anniversary of Deeply Rooted Dance Theater, founded by Kevin Iega Jeff and co-founder Gary Abbott, the associate artistic director. And we had our hybrid performance. It was a small performance in front of a small audience. And then we also streamed it. Live streamed. This was a hybrid thing going on October. That happened October 17th. And so I was extremely proud of the company, and it was a wonderful celebration of 25 years of dance here in Chicago.
So, to say that must feel good. 25 years.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how that happened because, I'm
You're like, it doesn't show on me. No, not at all.
No, but seriously, I say that the company's like the little engine that could. It's always, it's the mission. It just keeps rolling, and somehow the universe sustains us and we just keep going. These two men created this wonderful message and opportunity for others to see themselves outside of themselves and see themselves in a greater light. And it just keeps going. It just keeps sustaining itself. So I am privileged and honored to have been a part of it all these years.
Yeah, well, I tell you, let's let the people see the work. Let's take a look.
Well,
we're gonna. Wow, Gary Abbott began his career as a dancer with Barbara Sullivan's Atlanta Dance Theater. There he developed his interest in choreography and created works for musicals presented by Jamandi Productions and the Clark College Players. Receiving a scholarship to attend California Institute of the Arts in 1979, there's no way that was possible. Abbott studied with dance legends Christine Lawson, Nicholas Gunn, and Mia Slavinsky. He later moved to Los Angeles, where he danced with Lulu Washington Dance Theater and Los Angeles Contemporary Dance Theater. From 2001 to 2003, Abbott served as choreographer and Jeff as director for Black Nativity presented by the Bermuda Theater. In 2008, Abbott choreographed Ballet of Emmett Till, directed by Oz Scott, for the Goodman Theater in Chicago, and in 2010, Abbott shared choreographed duties with Jeff Iega for Ada at the Ballywick Repertory Theater of Chicago. Abbott taught at prestigious universities and workshops, including special workshops at Tanzania and Vienna, Paradigm Studios in New York City, Spelman College in Atlanta, University of Missouri in Kansas City, and Liev Dance Foundation in Sofia, Bulgaria, Durban, South Africa, and Tian and Sichuan, China. Gary Abbott, one of the founders, deeply rooted theater. My goodness. What a pleasure and an honor it is to have you this evening.
So it is so beautiful of you to invite me here to be with you today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You know, it is brilliance in achieving all of what you've achieved as an individual, but then to create an organization that brings other individuals in to be able to experience their dream and to do that for 25 years. We salute you. Right? Y'all just celebrate 5 years.
You know, we're so lucky because we have people like Nicole who bring such an enormous amount of leadership and artistry to our organization. And my partner, Kevin Iega Jeff, who could not make it tonight, his brilliance, his absolute stunning creativity, and his ability to bring people forward to the mission has been absolutely paramount to what it is that we do today. So, you know, I'm just thankful that we're still here and that we're still doing this thing after 25 years, man.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, I say that and I look at you guys and you look great. And it's like, well, why did you put that number out there? I know Nicole was like, yeah, 25 years. Let's bring Nicole back up here. I want, you know, this is a conversation among friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's all zoomed out. And when we talk about this being the business of, what we wanted to do is shine a light on organizations and dance companies who have figured something out, right? You figured out some kind of secret sauce to be able to live through all sorts of different changes in the tides of economic ups and downturns and still move with it. I mean, those bodies, right? And how they were moving. It was just,
Yeah, it's something else. Is you know, I think if there's a secret sauce, really, it's really keeping your head focused in on your mission, understanding that the people who are around you are important. You know, the people who are drawn to you are important. Keeping your eye on how you affect the world and how the world affects you, and knowing that you don't live here alone. That it takes more than just one person or two people to build an organization or to build a dance company that is that touches people. You know, so for me, it's always been about the passion. It's always been about the work. It's always been about the dedication and the commitment. You know, and the responsibility to the people who are a part of our organization, the amazing staff. I mean, they go beyond and above and beyond what it is that we have to do. Our administrative staff, our dancers, it's just amazing. And they are attracted to this mission for the same reasons that we serve it. So
if I can piggyback from that though, I mean, just exactly that, Gary, it's Gary and Iega have provided a space not only artistically. I came in as one of the first summer intensive students, and then apprentice and company, and they always allowed space for you to grow in the way that you saw yourself growing inside the organization. And so to be able to transition into leadership, even when you didn't see it coming, but the opportunity was there, is what I think was the secret sauce, that you allow the dancer to, to transition into and morph into staff or become, leaders inside of the organization administratively or artistic director. Who saw that coming? But it's that opportunity to grow inside of the organization.
That's beautiful that you allowed for that, because you spoke of Gary, in some way scaling, right? Like being not just a two-person organization and then having to grow. And that's not always the easiest thing, but it is somewhat easier when people are open, they drop egos away, right? Talk to us a little bit about just within the dance world and within theater and the programming of pieces, your journey in finding that balance between programming what will attract an audience and still staying true to your mission.
I think it's almost, you almost said it exactly what it is. It's first of all, it's the staying true to the mission part of it that's so important, regardless of the obstacles. And I'm not trying to paint this as some sort of, Disney World because of the obstacles that no. You really have to be very steadfast and very focused on what your mission is. And you have to be very, very respectful of the community that you're serving. And you have to understand what's going on around you, but you have to also understand whatever is going on around you is going on around you because of you. So you really have to know that you are affecting, that your company, that what your work, your artistry is affecting the world, which affects you. So as long as you can stay open to that, and for me, and I'm speaking for me and for what it is that I've seen through the company's journey, it's staying open to that and staying open to the truth of the matter that you are here to serve the mission, and you're here to serve the people who come to view what it is that you're doing. And you're also here to inform.
Yeah, and knowing your value.
Absolutely.
And just understanding your value, and that those who are still, sitting in those seats, they see it and they're attracted to it. And you just have to keep doing what you do and knowing that it has merit and there's a space for it.
I would take it a step further, having been to multiple deeply rooted performances, is that you also feel it. I've never walked out without tissue. I mean, I
don't worry about it.
Bring my tissue. Like Oprah, we should tissue boxes under each seat. And then also too, the fact that you offer dance classes pre-COVID, I believe, talk to us a little bit about how you've been switching and arranging the ability to keep people moving, but the classes that you offer to the public. Mature hot women.
Yes. Exactly. This one, my Mature Hot Women classes. We started our programming, our dance education, when COVID in March happened in March. We started by non-monetizing them. We offered free classes because we thought it was a time for us to nurture and heal the community, because none of us had any idea what was going on. And so, or where we were going or where we were headed or how dance would look inside of this medium. So we thought we just need to come together and be together as a community. And so we offered the free classes and allowed people to come and take our youth ensemble classes, our Mature Hot Women, and our open company classes for free. We also had inside of that our continuum conversations, where we had a repertory workshop and we taught pieces of deeply rooted rep. And then we stayed after to talk about how it's affecting our lives. What inside of this ballet is important to us and connecting that we can connect to, and spur us forward inside of this moment and allow us to, move inside of this moment with some sort of clarity or strength. And so that's how we move forward. And then we were able to, go into our summer intensive and monetize it from here on out. And so classes have been booming. We're very blessed in that way that, someone, they need to be connected to some sort of something. I think people are looking for, even though we're zoomed out, we need to have a human connection. And I think, having these classes we've been able to provide that.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, we're sitting in these chairs, zooming out, right? I say zooming out because it's kind of like zoning out, not to say that we zone out in our Zoom meetings, but I'm saying that it's just so much of kind of the same thing, which is one of the reasons why we use this platform, so that maybe it'll come across more engaging and keep people more motivated because it moves differently, right? Which is something that I believe your company does. It moves differently, and we can see that in the success and the longevity of it being here. So I look forward to celebrating another 25 and another 25. And before you know it, we're going to have 100-year celebration.
I'll meet you there, Sadia.
And we just need to keep this city. I'm really proud that you two received a DCASE grant award. So congratulations on that again. And let's bring Pranita back into this conversation, because you all exist in this world of dance. And I would rather just let some of you share a conversation and have some questions and answers for each other that will guide us in your conversation.
So, Sadia, first, a big hand for Deeply Rooted, and Gary and Iega and Nicole, kudos to all.
Thank you.
I had my first opportunity to work with the company in 2003. And I heard the magic words from Iega, and he said, "It's not about you and me, Pranita, it's about the community." So it is super important that the community feels the impact of our work and how we weave the community into us. So I like to keep that in my perspective when I'm working. With the young dancers, we have a Mandala Makeup Festival about emerging young South Asian artists. And let's be realistic. What we do is in the moment. It is our passion. It is a personal journey. But how do we make it relevant for the larger community?
Yeah. Pranita, are you all teaching class? You're all having class as well?
Yeah, we're doing it online. So we're doing it online, and we do a dance movement program for senior citizens.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I don't know what's the politically correct word to use.
I'm one of them, so I condone that language.
Yes, and it's just for them to have fun and enjoy and, feel the power of dance and music in the system. And also, talking about it, it's about creative entrepreneurship. They take the stories back to the grandchildren, like the grandchildren see them happy. So how do we build up an academy from their goodwill? So
Exactly. That's always been an amazing thing, I think, about your company, is that when Claudia was talking about us feeling about what she felt after seeing us, when we worked with you, we knew immediately that we had a kindred spirit. So I understand that mission, and I understand what it takes to do all of it. And I commend you for holding on, so tightly to what it is that you do, to the mission, because honestly and frankly, our stories can be missing from history today. If it wasn't for you holding on to tight to your stories and the value of who you are in the community, those stories can start to drift away. So I'm always buoyed by and pushed forward and inspired by your tenacity.
All right. Well, a deep bow to all of you.
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah. When is your next? I'm sorry. I have questions for Pranita. When is your next show, Pranita?
Well, it's airing right now. We do an annual production, which is called The Story of Ram, which is the South Asian response to the Nutcracker. So
oh, wow.
So we are in our fifth year, sixth production, and it is virtually going on online right now as I'm speaking to you.
Where can we watch it? Do we go to Mandala? Where can we send?
So it is being presented by National Indo-American Museum, and the website is niam.org, where they're selling tickets for our fifth a fifth year, sixth production of The Story of Ram. It's like
Beautiful.
and it is online. It's going to be online for 10 more days. So we had to.
I would definitely be there.
Yeah. So we were not going to stop. We were not going to stop the tradition of doing it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do it differently?
Excellent.
So we had to learn technology. I had to learn technology, and I was so grateful for the team, Ashwati, who's edited it, who put it together.
Excellent.
I want to share a comment because, I think that you guys should see this. Ms. Sharon Morgan says, I'm loving that they all are incorporating their mission of dance to the older community.
Mm. Yeah.
It belongs to all of us. It belongs to all of us. If it wasn't for my grandmother and her grandmother and their grandmother, I would not have the capacity to do what I'm doing right here today. If you ask me, sometimes we can get too far away from our generations. The value of having young people and older people in the room at the same time, having conversation. That's the world. That's who we are. That's important.
Yes, and the values that are still being given to us by the older community, about being together, about respect, about discipline. It takes a discipline. It takes patience, and those are super important qualities in life.
I wonder kind of how music has transitioned with different, if you call it generations, right? What do you think of these new dance forms, one of which is called footwork?
But you know what's funny
Go
about
ahead, Nikki.
Oh no, what I want to think about what you can honestly go back to African dance. And so as my grandmother says, there's nothing new under the sun. It's always going to be a part of you, ingrained in some sort of way. It's just reimagined and a new voice on top of it. But it's not new. It's African dance, and it comes from something that's, whether you understood where it's coming from, it's in you. It's in that DNA. It's in that, right on that skin, and you just have no idea that it's there, pushing you forward, and and moving you and inspiring you into this new genre, which isn't new. So it's wonderful, I think, because it's just circular.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, one of my reincarnation goals is to come back as the baddest breakdancer you ever saw in this whole. I think there's a movement to make breakdancing into an Olympic sport. I'm probably screwing that all up, but I think there's a movement for that, which I think is quite interesting. Yeah. Spinning on your head. If I bowed my head too much, it'll fall off my shoulders these days. So.
Oh no! I do believe with the amount of what your body has been trained to do, you'll be in good shape for a while. In fact, I got to read this because I literally, Brandon Bro, I'm going to bring him up actually, is a visual art and media person. He's done the visual arts for Chance's album covers, and he started out in breakdancing, And I had a brief conversation with him earlier because I was thinking about this conversation we're going to have tonight. And I was thinking about how, so many people in their creative juices may come from dance and then they end up going in a different direction, right? I dance every morning. I think I've told Nicole this, it's how I start my day. And so, I definitely encourage our viewers to support these dance organizations that have classes, right? That you can engage with. And I tell you, mature hot women, every time I stretch differently because Kevin Iega Jeff saw my knees a little too straight, and we got to find ways as we do gracefully age, and keeping these machines that carry our soul and our spirit well oiled. And I think any form of movement does that. Right?
I absolutely agree with you. It's so interesting. I'm at this moment now where I'm sort of like moving into this other sort of zone of reality when it comes to my broken body. I can see it in my head, but I'm like, but really, can you do it, Gary? That's why we have these brilliant, brilliant artists, these brilliant dancers who can see what I'm trying to do and go, oh man, let me help you with this.
And you guys, the vision is so strong on all accounts with Mandala and Deeply Rooted. I feel like there was a question I was going to ask, but I feel like you've answered it, which in terms of tips for success, right? In terms of a company, and in this case, having scaled and maintained, both companies, a significant presence, and also having received grant funding, which is really important to arts foundations to continue to prosper. I will say that, I think it's important to share some golden nuggets, and you did share some secret sauce, but are there any golden nuggets, Gary, that you'd like to share?
I think I'll tell you these things that really stick out to me is really paying attention to those who love you and who love your art. Paying attention to them and respecting that the fact that they are in love with what it is that you're doing. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We just talked about the elder community. There are people out there with minds who've done this whole tap dance before, that we need to tap into. Be prepared to pivot. But also make sure you keep your mission in mind, keep all of that, keep your mission in mind, be completely steadfast in who you are and know that you have a vision and hold on to that vision as tight as you possibly can. Pay attention to your finances.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your finances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pranita?
Yes. So as Gary said, keep your mission is the most important. No matter how small your work is, make it impactful and powerful, that people pay attention to it again and again, whether it is a single student in class or your largest production you've ever done. Treat it with the same integrity and respect. And I'm always, as artists, we can be delusional. So I will say, be realistic about your finances, your resources, keep it simple, make it beautiful, and step by step. It grows step by step. So
Love it.
It's really important to keep that, at least keep that vision clear that it is a step by step growth, Don't think that your first production will be full house, sold out. And
it may be with that second production.
Second production, possibly. Yes.
Right.
That's right. It's Nicole Clark-Springer.
I think the tip I would give to an entrepreneur, see the possibilities in all relationships. And then collaborations are key. So you never know who you're speaking to, you never know who you're talking to. And even if it seems like it might be someone, a baker, you don't see, well, what does that have to do with dance? You never know, So you always want to know that, see the possibilities in every relationship, and then collaborations are key because you're always going to need those around you.
Wow. Well, all of you are so powerful and impactful. And I now understand and have a really good idea of why your dance companies have sustained over time and will continue to. And thank you, Pranita, in the beginning for when I asked that question around, the world is shifting or whatever, like, what do? Do you change your mission? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. You stay steadfast and true to your mission. In fact, I'll take it a step further. When grant opportunities come up and they may not quite align with your mission, I recommend you share that opportunity with an organization where it absolutely aligns with their mission, and you stay steadfast to yours, because those funders know and understand. And that also is very powerful and impactful. as we go forward and have these relationships, right, that Nicole Clark-Springer spoke about. And that becomes a space of trust. Trust in the community that they can count on what you say you're going to do.
Absolutely.
The same thing financially with our funders. So yes, Gary, I got to say, over the summer we did a financial literacy. I mean, here's the thing: you can do financial literacy, and we do them, right? But we took it to the next level. We had a global economic strategist who was with Citadel for 13 years. And I said, yeah. He's like, well, how am I going to talk to? I mean, I said, I need you to talk from the person who doesn't have much all the way up to the $500 million folks. Because in the entertainment industry, there's a spectrum, right? And we did that because one of the things that happened with the pandemic is that people were living, paycheck to paycheck, shoestring budgets, not knowing or understanding what a force majeure was, even though it was in the music contract that, an act of God could happen, right? So everybody had to reevaluate contracts, finances. It's no longer a 6 month, not 6 month, maybe it was 6 months or a year. It's now an 18-month spread that people have financially in order to secure themselves. So thank you for mentioning that. That's really key. It's really important. And Nicole, you couldn't have said it better. Relationships are key.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just came to a couple of performances when I first landed in Chicago and fell in love with Deeply Rooted. And now look, 11 years, and I'm like, can we have you guys on a conversation? Because I need for the world to know that my heart was like snatched, just snatched. It's left somewhere on stage. I got part of it over here. But I just love that you guys have joined us tonight. I wish you grace, peace, and a full heart of gratitude for joining us on a Saturday night. So we're going to encourage you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Pranita. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Nicole. It has been an absolute joy to have a conversation among dance theater company leaders and friends, people who have collaborated together and found a value in each other's work. The Center for Creative Entrepreneurship is steeped in the mission and the value of not only providing resources, skills, and the knowledge and relationships for business success. We really believe in our vision of breaking down the silos. And that means bringing organizations together who can benefit by one another and working together because we're stronger when we do so. So it's that lovely time in the evening where we're in the middle of a Stream-a-Thon in order to raise money for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship. Now, I always say that no amount is too small or too big because every penny counts. One of these days, I'm going to remember where my penny necklace is. And before this 9 days is over, you will see it on me because it does. Every cent matters. And during this time, for the last 9 months, we have offered our programming for free. And we continue to offer these 8 days of engaging, interactive, power-packed conversations for free. On that 9th night, we do encourage individuals to contribute for our final night and our finale, which is the film industry. So tonight, I ask you to reach into your heart and feel your spirit. If you feel the need to give, we'd love that. And if just share this Stream-a-Thon with other friends would also make us very happy. I'm Sadia Davis, and I want to show you this drum. Thank you for that incredible drum solo. Tonight, our drummer and performance is going to be by Jeremiah Collier. Jeremiah Collier has been playing a full set of drums since the tender age of 2. He is a born drummer. Jeremiah Collier has been turning heads in Chicago since his parents encouraged him to learn to read and play instruments fluently. He attended Shy Arts High School, Ernest Dawkins, and the Young Masters of the Jazz Institute of Chicago, and has been playing around the Chicagoland area for the past 7 years. He has played with a plethora of artists such as Ernest Dawkins, the AACM, Ari Brown, Robert Irving III, Bobby Watson, Dennis Times, Antonio Hart, Don Braden, the late, great Mr. Willie Pickens, and many more. Jeremiah Collier has also been blessed to tour with Kissimmee, Washington, and is currently touring with Stanley Clarke. Now, for those of you over the summer who checked him out, you can also find him when it's hot, playing on his stoop on the south side of Chicago. He was a member of the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz All-Star Peer-to-Peer Group, which was composed of the best high school student musicians around the country. He has performed in several jazz festivals throughout the Chicagoland area, such as the Hyde Park Jazz Festival, Jazz Chicago Festival, Inglewood Jazz Festival, and the 51st Jazz Festival. Let's take a listen. Jeremiah Collier. I tell you, he reached over 1 million views on Facebook, literally playing drums on his stoop in the south side of Chicago. Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for your incredible talent and sharing it with us during these really incredible days of giving. Thank you to our guest, Pranita, Nicole Clark-Springer, and Gary Abbott. Thank you to all of you who are finding a way to engage with us, share your wisdom, and continue to inspire and create. I'm Sadia Davis, the Director for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship. Join us tomorrow night when we bring on Mr. Hill Harper, who will host some visual art legendary guests like Nick Cave and the Michelle Boone and Aaron from New York, an incredible curator, and a drum solo performance by Kahil Alzabar. So join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for being with us.